A university campus at its best is a community of imperfect learners. That means that on a university campus, everyone, the professors and the students alike, they all know that they're not perfect in their understanding. They know they're imperfect. Their imperfections are shown in different ways, but we're all imperfect. And they come together in community, embracing that imperfection of themselves and of one another. That means that they can talk with one another to try to become better at the things they don't know well enough yet. And so there's this idea that a campus is something like a community of imperfect learners. When I read your book and just thinking about the distinctions you were just making, this is how I would analyze that now, what's happening on campuses with anti Semitism. There's a group of people, a very loud group of people, who claim to, on some topics, not to be part of the community of imperfect learners, but to rather be perfect themselves on certain issues. Being perfect, they now have set themselves aside from that community of imperfect learners, and they're challenging the very idea that imperfection and recognizing our shortcomings and our need to learn more, they're exempt from that because they have the truth perfectly. And when we said at the beginning of this conversation that, your line that there's some deep challenge to the very idea of the university going on in these protests, something new and stronger than we've ever seen before, to that core idea. When I read that line, when I read your book, that's what I kept thinking. I kept thinking, it's an attack on the idea that a campus is a community of imperfect learners because some are claiming to be perfect. And the ones who don't line up with perfection are not sympathetic. Oh, you need to learn something. Let me explain to you my reasoning. Let me describe to you. No, you're imperfect through your very nature, unless you convert on this issue to my perfect understanding. And I'm putting your words in your mouth, but that's how I read you.
Extremely well put. And if I still had my manuscript in front of me, I would add it to mine. Listen, I probably would even give you credit for it, just to be outrageous. No, I'd give you credit. Yeah, that's well put. I mean, look, the um, in 1915, when the AAUB published its wonderful uh, declaration, its founding definition of academic freedom and of the university at life, university purpose, it said academic freedom exists to protect the search for the truth. Well, that was it, the search for the truth. Academic freedom was not founded to convince you that you were already in possession of the truth and didn't need to search anymore. And I think you're right that in some ways, at least some portions of the campus have given up that search in particular topic areas. The problem is, once you give it up here, you're giving it up there. Once you give it up here, it corrupts the possibility that you'll sustain the search elsewhere in your life on other topics. And that's one of the ways that anti-Zionism and anti-Semitism have corrupted the university as a whole. That is, it has corrupted the search for the truth, and it has corrupted that sense of community that needs to be the umbrella under which the campus operates. It's the community and the norms that the community sets are the only counterforce that we have to identity politics. Strong as they are on campus now, if identity politics is an absolute zero-sum game in which truth and righteousness and justice can only reside in some identities and not in others, then the university cannot function as a learning community. You need that overall structure even more now than you would have needed it 10 years ago. And of course, now it's under unique threat. But somehow we have to begin to restore it. I do think it can be restored if administrators and faculty make that a priority. I think they can rebuild it, but we do need it to be rebuilt. And it's hard to go directly at identity politics and fix that. That's pretty rooted at this point and resisted. So you need to have the overarching set of principles and purposes that prevent identity politics from being a zero-sum game. And we have to work at it, or things will only get worse.